Hi, I'm Jay, escobarj.com. This video is going to be how to wake up early and work out. So this is quite a difficult one for a lot of people, especially if you have children. And I'm going to explain strategy that you can use if you have kids in a minute. But first, I have 5 tips for you for how to wake up early and work out. I've done several videos on working out, nutrition, etc. I take that very seriously in my own life. In 2019, just a quick story on me. In 2018, 2019, I lost 75 pounds in 8 months. And part of that was waking up early a lot. So first, the first thing you got to do if you are planning on getting up early and working out is first you need to have the commitment. You need to have the why. You need to have the deep down passion to actually want to get in better shape and have good health. That was the biggest switch for me. Is like in the past, I always wanted a nice body, but as a want. It wasn't necessarily a need, and it wasn't necessarily any deeper than that. I was just like, oh yeah, it'd be nice to have a good body, but like I don't really want it that bad. But what tends to happen the biggest switch for me was when became more of, hey, I want to be in good shape because I want good health for the rest of my life. I want to, when I'm old, I want to be able to be around still and get and walk around and still work out and still hang out with family and still do fun activities. So it's a matter of like a health conscious thing for me now. Whereas like in the past, it was just like, oh yeah, it'd be cool to have like a 6 pack or whatever. But now it's like, no, I need to do these things. It's a have to. It's not like a want anymore. It's I have to do this because if I don't do this, I could have an early grave, right? And it's not based out of fear, but it's more just based out of I just want to live a long, fulfilled, healthy life, and I'm making a commitment to that. So that's the first step: is making a commitment to exercise first and foremost, but also making a commitment to waking up at the time that you specifically set. And I'm going to get to that in the next tip. But you want to make sure that you're committed to this. If you're not committed to it for like lifelong, whatever, like I am, just do it for 90 days. They say that you build new habits after 90 days of doing something every single day. And you don't miss a single day during that 90 days, literally every day, 7 days a week. You do it every day because then it becomes ingrained into you, becomes a part of who you are, and it breaks old habits and creates new good habits. So that's the first step, is making a commitment to waking up at the time you set for 90 days, and then making a commitment to working out and exercising for 90 days as well, minimum. The second step is make sure that you set a definite time to go to bed. And the secret to this one is to make sure that you're in bed, you're actually physically laying down in bed, ready to start sleeping 10 minutes, at least 10 minutes. I would say 10 to 20 to 30 minutes before the time that you actually set. Like, if you say I need to be in bed at 9 p.m., right? You want to be in bed by 8:50 so that you give yourself 10 minutes or more to actually fall asleep. Most people can't fall asleep, sometimes for 30 minutes to up to an hour. Some people have a hard time sleeping, of course. But if you're like a normal person, and don't have any like sleeping issues, normal people, it takes about anywhere between 10 to 30 minutes to fall asleep and get into like a deeper sleep, right? So give yourself that buffer. Make sure that you're in bed, if you want to be in bed by 8:50 or 8:40 or 8:30, you want to be in bed ready to like go to sleep, actually physically ready to go to bed and close your eyes. And this kind of segues in the next tip, is to turn off the TV, turn off your phone, turn off the tablets, turn off any electronics, anything that has a screen, any like music, like unless you're listening to like a sleep meditation or you're listening to some nature sounds or something like that. That helps me at times. Sometimes it distracts me though, so it depends on the night. Sometimes I just like silence. So it just kind of depends on the night, but having a sleep meditation or nature sounds does help too. That's another little quick tip. In this third rule or tip that I'm giving you is just make sure all your electronics are off. Blue light is actually keeps you up. If you look at blue light a lot, it can actually make you stay awake for longer periods of time. So you can turn your phone into like night mode or whatever, but it's still distracting. Your brain is still on. You're thinking about things on your phone. Just turn everything off. Literally turn everything off and prepare yourself. And actually, it takes actual discipline to go to sleep. Like most people they'll just mindlessly watch TV until they fall asleep, which can be a couple hours, or they'll be on their phone and they'll mindlessly fall asleep. It takes intention to go to bed at a certain time. It takes discipline and intention. I'm intending to go to sleep. That's the difference. And that's why I say be in bed 10 minutes before you actually want to be in bed. What I'm talking about is intend to go to sleep 10 minutes before your time that you actually set. And the next one is make a definite time to wake up and set an alarm to that definite time. So if you want to get up at, let's say, 4 a.m., say, okay, I'm going to be in bed by 8:50 p.m. and I'm going to attempt to fall asleep by 9 o'clock. My intention is to fall asleep by 9 o'clock, right? So actively trying to sleep, meaning you're turning everything off, you're not distracted, you're physically closing your eyes on purpose so that you can let your body rest. And then you set an alarm for, let's say, 4 a.m. That's 7 hours of sleep. That's great sleep. You don't need, it's nice to get 8, but what I've noticed for myself is that if I get full 8, typically I'm kind of groggy that day because I get a little too much sleep. I find that the sweet spot for me is like 6 to 7 hours right there. And for me personally right now, my schedule, I only sleep 3 hours. I have 2 3-hour naps a night because I work graveyards. So what I do is I sleep for 3 hours before my work, and then I go to work, and then I come back from work, and then I sleep for another 3 hours. So it's kind of staggered. And I find that as long as I get those 2 naps, I really I don't feel any different than if I got a full 6 or 7 hours of sleep. I still work out the same. I still have the same amount of energy. It's just about, and obviously there are benefits to getting a full 6 or full 7 or full 8 hours of sleep. I'm not saying that. I know there's scientific studies that show that, a full 6 or 7 hours is better for you. But just with my schedule, I've noticed that I haven't noticed that big of a difference unless I'm only getting like 4 or 5 hours of sleep, then I really notice. So that's the next one is just make sure you set a definite time to wake up and set an alarm to that time. And then the last tip is if you have kids, get them to bed early. Get them in a good habit. I know that's easier said than done, but get them into a good habit of going to bed early. If you get them to bed early, that allows you to be in bed early. And if you're setting the example by them seeing you go to bed early, if you guys say like some family prayers, if you guys have like a little family meeting before you go to bed or something, or even if you don't, just getting into a good habit of going to sleep and having your children see you go to sleep early as well. Children learn by osmosis. So they learn by what they see and what you do. And so if they see you do that, and it's like a no questions asked thing, it has to be important to you. You have to intend to go to sleep at that time. And when they feel that, look, we go to bed early because, the early bird gets the worm, right? And they see you get up in the morning, or maybe they don't see you because they're still sleeping, but they're going to notice that you're awake by the time when they wake up, right? If you're always awake by the time when they wake up, they're like, oh, what have you been doing, Dad? What have you been doing, Mom? Oh, we were at the gym. And they see that and they learn by osmosis. Now, again, I know that it's easier said than done. It's going to take some discipline at first, especially if your kids have bad habits, or if you have bad habits of letting your kids go to bed whenever you want. And it also depends on how old your kids are as well. I mean, for a new infant born, obviously, that's just tough because they have needs that kind of go beyond. They need at least one parent to help nurse them at night, of course. So that's a little difficult. I'm talking about, toddlers, up to teenage years, just getting them a good habit of going to bed early and letting them see you go to bed early. And then just, especially if you do have kids, you're probably going to be waking up at 4 or 5 or 6 a.m. anyway, because that's really probably the only amount of time that you'll get alone, or like you'll get to yourself throughout your day. Once your day starts, I mean, it's pretty, especially if you have multiple kids, it's pretty hard to like juggle, like let them be awake and need things and want things and need your attention for this and that, and still be able to go to the gym. It's possible. It can happen. There are people that do it. But what I found is that by just having discipline, getting up early before everybody gets up, and you have yourself some time to yourself, not only, and this isn't really part of this video, but meditation is also another great way. If you wake up early, you meditate before you go to the gym, and it just kind of sets your entire day up for the whole rest of the day. And then you hit the gym, and that way you have time for you, because you can't take care of anybody else unless you take care of you first. Jim Rohn says, you take care of you for me and I'll take care of me for you. And that what that means is that you can't let your love spill over into other people's lives unless your love tank is full first. If your love tank's completely depleted, it's going to be pretty difficult for you to give and serve others if you don't feel loved and served yourself, or you're taking care of yourself so that you can fill it. So those are my 5 tips for how to wake up and go to the gym early, how to wake up and work out early. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon so you never miss any time I release a video. If you'd like to get my help with this, if this is really difficult for you, or if you're just having a tough time with your nutrition or exercise or whatever it is, you can book a coaching session. That's the fastest way to get a hold of me on my website at escobarj.com. You can also make a donation there. You can throw me $1, $2, $5, whatever you feel is equal to the value of the information in this video or any of my other videos. And then at the very least, do me a favor and share this on any social media platform. My goal and my purpose is to help as many people as I possibly can, help to help millions and millions of people. And by you helping and sharing this with your friends and family on any social media platform, it helps me accomplish that. You never know, maybe you know somebody who's really trying to change their life and they need some help doing so. And the tips in this video can really help them. So other than that, hope you're always learning, always growing, and always pushing forward. And I'll see you in the next video. Take care.